Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting After Effects tutorial. In this video, I will show you how I create this bird animation in After Effects, and I will break down each step so you can learn and understand my workflow. So, without further ado, let's dive into After Effects. Now, we are in After Effects, and you can see there is lots of layers. First, I converted this Illustrator layer into a shape layer. Then, I changed the color label to recognize it better. After that, I selected all the body parts of the bird and parented them to the body layer. Then, I parented the leaf to the leaf stalk. Finally, I parented the rest of the layers to the branch layer. After parenting, we can move the elements by moving the branch layer, just like we can control the bird's body parts by the body layer. Alright, so after setting up the scene, let's move forward. First, I selected the body layer and opened its position properties. Then, I added some keyframes to create a basic rough animation. This technique is very useful because it gives you an idea of how the animation will look. Now, I adjust the keyframes and add some more keyframes to achieve a perfect look. I also play with the position path handles to get natural curve movements. Let's see the preview. Alright, it's time to play with the graph editor. Adjusting the speed graph in After Effects can be a complex process, going back and forth many times to achieve the desired look. After setting the speed graph, these are the results I got. Chapter 2. Branch Animation. First, I open the body layer keyframes so that I can animate the branch according to the bird's movements. I select the branch layer and open its position properties. Then, I add a keyframe at this point. Next, I drag the time indicator to where the bird is about to touch the branch and add a keyframe. Now, go back to the second keyframe and change the branch position according to the bird's movements. After setting it up, here are the results. Nice! Let's animate the leaf. I animated the leaf to give secondary movements to the scene. First, I select the leaf stalk layer and change its anchor point position. Now, I open its rotation properties and play with them. I observed the branch movements and made the opposite movements to get a natural feel. Let's change those keyframes into Bezier keyframes. Now it's looking good. To animate the legs, I select the leg layers and change their anchor point positions like this, so that we can rotate the legs properly. Now, I open the body keyframes properties to see the keyframes. Next, I animate the rotation properties of the legs. I simply play the animation and manually adjust the rotation properties. After that, I place the time indicator where the legs are about to touch the branch. Then, I open the path of each leg and add a keyframe. Now comes the fun and interesting part of this video. I select the pen tool and change the leg's path. I change the leg's shape to look like they are bending when the bird lands on the branch, giving a natural feel to the landing. I play the animation and adjust the leg's shape manually. After that, here is the final look. Amazing! This looks so good. Chapter 4. Wing Animation. Let's add some flying movements. I select the wing layer and change the color label to recognize it. Then, I change the anchor point position of this wing, carefully placing the anchor point here. I change the layer to a 3D layer. Now, I open the rotation properties of this layer and add a keyframe on the orientation properties. Then, I move the time indicator forward a bit and change the orientation properties to get this wing position. I copy the first keyframe and paste it here. After that, I open the script panel and add this expression. Then, I move the keyframes to the first frame. Now, let's see the results. As you can see, our bird is moving its wings nicely. To add depth, I turn on the motion blur for this layer. Now, it looks perfect. Alright, now I convert these keyframes into Bezier keyframes. Here is the important part. At this point, carefully change the parent link option to None. After that, I pre-compose this wing layer. Name this comp Wing. Check this icon and click OK. Then, once again, parent this layer to the body layer, so that if I play the animation, the wing is attached to the body. Alright, after doing this, you can notice that the wing is moving continuously, and we want to control and use it according to our requirement. So I carefully place the time indicator where the wing is in the idle position. Then I right-click, go to Time, and choose Enable Time Remapping. Now I add a keyframe at this point and one more keyframe here, then delete the last keyframe. If I play the animation, you can see the wing animation stops in a controlled way. I change these keyframes to Bezier keyframes to get a smoother result. By this technique, I animate the wing of the bird. Just add a keyframe and change the time remapping values. For example, I drag the time indicator forward a bit and add a keyframe here. Then, I change the time remapping values like this. If I play the animation, you can see the wing movements start again. Chapter 5. Bird Neck Animation. Alright, let's animate the bird's neck movements. First, I select the body layer, because the eyes of the bird are in the body shape layer. Then, I open the path of this layer. You can see there are 3 paths under this layer, and one of them is for the eye. I rename this path for recognition, naming it Eye Right. Then, I add a keyframe and move the time indicator forward a bit. Now, I slightly change the position of the eye path. Then, I duplicate this path and rename it Eye Left. After that, I change the position and shape of this path like this. Now, I select the beak layer and place it above the body layer. Then, I go to the body layer and change the left eye path like this. Basically, I'm trying to hide this shape behind the beak. After the adjustment, I select the beak layer and change its anchor point position. I set the anchor point to this position and change this layer to a 3D layer. Next, I open the rotation and position properties of this layer and change the properties. I also adjust the eyes slightly to match the overall look. Nice. Let's fix this eye path quickly. Okay, so the movement looks good. Let's see the final preview. That's how I animate this bird in After Effects. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.